Cosplay World, and this week we'll be talking about connecting PVC pipe together. And for example, we have a nice little Gatling gun, I suppose, or a railgun, some on a helicopter kind of gun. I forgot what it was called exactly. But anyway, this is a demonstration because I couldn't find the pieces, the connection pieces all by themselves. I'm sure it's in a box somewhere in the house, of how you connect PVC pipe together with these fittings, because that's kind of the way you see people do it, especially when they don't know some of the more advanced techniques, which I'm going to demonstrate in a bit. I say advanced, but they're going to get pretty simple and straightforward when you look at me like, oh, it's so simple. Okay, so what I tend to see people do is take their pipe and then joint the connections together to make curves and various complex structures. This looks really nice when it's a gun and when it's some sort of machinery or something steampunkish or whatever the case may be. But when you're trying to do something elegant or magic related, or you don't just want a seam into place, these pieces are not so useful. Sometimes I can get people to smooth out this little edge right here, or hide it with their hand, or whatever the case may be. But we want it to look nice. We also want it to be nice and strong. So if this is not an option for you to design, we have for you different options. I also strongly recommend the screws in here to mount it in place. If you're unfamiliar with this glue, I will go and recommend you look at the video for gluing PVC sheeting together. I did a video on it with this glue. It works with PVC pipe as well, and it's much stronger. The PVC glue you see for plumbing, I won't cut it. These pieces will go apart, you'll waste your money, and it'll be gooey and not so great. I would recommend even super glue or Gorilla Glue or any other glue over the plumbing glue that's at the hardware store. For our uses, it's not very good. There are much better options there. Okay, so say we have a pretty long staff or scythe or whatever the case may be, and we want it to extend farther, right? We have a rule wherein our props need to break down to a certain length, or maybe we need to travel, or whatever the case is. But so how do we joint those together in a nice way? We can actually overlay them over each other, but not right now. You see, this is a 3/4 inch pipe, and this is a 1/2 inch pipe. Right now, they're not going to fit together, but I'm going to show you in a second how they will. But we actually have right here a 1/2 inch outer diameter pipe. This is a 1/2 inch inner diameter pipe. Typically when you're doing plumbing, you're concerned with the volume flowing through the pipe, so that's why all their diameters are for the internal part, not the external part. This is special for who knows why. But yeah, as you can see, they will fit together and they connect. Woo! Isn't that simple and wonderful and amazing? So we're going to try and do this with the 3/4 inch pipe in a second, but we're also going to demonstrate, because guess what? We use dowel rods in pretty much the same way, right? And we also have a similar kind of problem when mounting them together, so I'd like to cover those in kind of the same video. Plus they also have obvious strengths with each other, and they work very well together, so let me go into that. Now, PVC pipe is very nice, and you can put screws in it, and it's very adaptable. It's got the, fittings and things like that are made specifically for putting these things together, but it gets flimsy and wobbly. And this is even the case with the heavier pipe up to 1 1/4. When you have say a head of a scythe or a hammer or whatever the case may be at the end of your staff, it will bend, and so even if it's a little deflection, it doesn't look as good as it could be. It could look a bit better. Now, in that case, you're like, well, why don't I use a dowel rod? Well, here's a dowel rod. The problem with dowel rods is that the grain is along the shaft of the pipe or the rod, right? And when you put screws into it and you put torsion on it, or pressure, that pressure tends to splinter the wood. It just cracks and it doesn't hold screws very well. So to alleviate that, what we're going to do, voila, is that we are going to have both together working in unison. Now, this is a 1/2 inch piece of dowel. Yes, imagine that. It slides right into that 1/2 inch PVC pipe. Go figure. And what I'm going to do, as soon as I find the screw that's directly behind me, yay, is I'm going to put it in here and we're going to screw it in place. Now, did I forget the screwdriver for this? I bet you it's right under here. Here it is. Here's the screwdriver. Okay, so what this does is this provides the strength of the dowel rod and the stability of the PVC pipe. It combines them both. And so you can, if you so choose, run, I believe this is 1/2 inch, you can run this 1/2 inch pipe all the way through and give it more support. That's not always necessary, but if you can do it, hey, and you want a really superb high quality prop, I would go with that. Now, with this screwed in place, this is not going anywhere. Now you can add glue or whatever the case may be if you like, and that's perfectly fine, but a screw, it works really well. And additionally, as you can see, this makes a good end cap. We don't have this nasty little thing that we have to fill in here. We have a nice sturdy piece of wood which will take con damage all day long. And who cares if a little edge rubs off? I mean, based on for repairs and maintenance, that's really minimalist. So it's a really nice way of finishing off a cap and making things look nice, right? Additionally, guess what? It slots right into the other pipe. Woo! Now you can take it apart, put together, take it apart, put it back together. Now you can make this as long as you like. In fact, I'm going to go into that in a second. I have here a piece of this 5/8 dowel cut a bit, and I'm going to finish up the job here. Now the reason why I have this 5/8 dowel is sometimes you don't want this screw visible. I mean, I could actually screw this in really, really tight into the plastic itself and then cover it, well, yeah, embed it basically, because this is a wood screw, and then cover it up, right? And get my heat gun out. So, oh well, but sometimes we want a nice cleaner way to work with this, right? That's why I have the 5/8. It's slightly bigger. It won't really, it could if I force it, but not really. It's not going to go in there. Okay, with my heat gun, I'm going to be heating this up. Give me a second while the heat goes and makes noise. La 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 la. The plastic is getting warm. Thermodynamics, expansion, and it gets bigger, and I'll be able to fit the wood inside. La la la. Okay, so there we go. Now that really wasn't particularly long. I could have done it for longer and got I could have gotten a better result. As it stands, I can only get it in about 3/4 of an inch, and I'm going to twist it. And what's going to happen is this pipe is going to cool down, right? And guess what? It's really not going to go anywhere. Now you can make doubly sure by adding glue or whatever the case may be, but guess what? It really ain't going anywhere. Wait. Oh yeah, that was a different explanation. So, this is a case where you want, there's no really visible screw holding in place. It's just held in by pressure. Now the problem we're having here, because obviously we're having a problem here, is that, hey, I want to fit this over this. Now, the same trick that we used on one side, we're going to use it on the other. Now this is going to take a little longer because I'm going to need to go a little deeper with it. We must go deeper. La 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 la. And you want to make sure to get the inside as well as the outside, and try to hit it at an angle so that it kind of swirls around a bit. It doesn't go straight through. It hits a wall and continues to move around. It catches more of the heat as it makes contact with the pipe, if you guys follow. Now I'm kind of gonna want to wish I had heated up that pipe a bit more, because guess what? It makes a much better demonstration when the two pieces of pipe touch each other and hide that crease really well. So I'm going to have to heat this up pretty far in order to make sure it goes all the way. And for the part, we're basically making a peg system here. For the part that is going to be loose, we're going to want to heat up anyway, so or heat up a little bit more anyway, so that it's a bit looser. I'm going to show you a little trick for making it loose in a way that allows you to take it off. Yay! Okay, is this soft? It's getting there. We're getting there. Now remember, this is hot, folks, and you do run the chance of hurting yourself in some way. So do be careful. Alright. There we go. Okay. Now there it goes. It slides in real easy. Now, of course, you know, according to the laws of thermodynamics, that when something heats up, it's going to expand. But it also is going to contract when it cools down. So, to keep it kind of from going back to its original shape, I'm going to keep moving this wood around and stretching out the plastic as it cools so that it allows a little bit of wiggle room. The amount of wiggling you do dictates the amount of, say, friction you're going to want once it's done. For this purposes, I'm going to have it fairly loose, but you could have it as tight as you want to the point where it will come off fairly easily. I hope you could hear that over the noise of the machine. That was kind of important. Wiggling around here will pretty much tell you how tight of a fit this is going to be. So, had I taken a little bit of time and actually matched up the cuts and made it reasonably clean, this would be fairly easy or hard to see. It's not too bad, but I can always stand up, make it a little better. But there we go. I think this is reasonably cool to the point where it's going to be where it's at for the rest of until I do something otherwise. So there we go. We got a nice little transition. Yay! And we can use this, and it's fairly hard to see. You can clean up a little better. It's something easily hidden by your hand. Wah! And if it's not hidden by your hand, it's not too hard to hide. As you can see, I have to get it pretty close to the camera for you to be really noticeable. Yay! Now, where's that big piece of pipe I had earlier? It's around here somewhere. Here it is. I got it here, guys. Now, this piece of pipe is going to fit over this as well. We're going to use the same trick, and guess what? That whole jointing thing what we just did before with the dowel rod and the pipe, it'll work with the pipe to pipe. I could potentially make it loose and wiggle around and make it fit, and that's pretty simple. That's how it goes. Oh well. Same idea. Heat it up. Make sure the heat gets bounced around the inside and outside of the pipe. Spin it around. Always keep it moving. As you may notice, I always move it like this, or well, most of the time I move it like that. That's just so it keeps going. Okay. And voila. Now we have jointed the pipe from one size to another, and we can actually take this apart and put it back together if we so choose. And there we are. Jointing PVC pipe. And guess what? It works the same way with a dowel rod for your props. So, if you want to make this a simple kind of joint, that'll work as well. Wait, where? Yes. Or even this a simple joint, that'll work out too. There you go, people. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching, guys. Was it the side? Yeah, the side. Good times to all. Hey, Cosplay World, before I finish up this video, I want to say thanks for everyone who likes and subscribes. But the people who comment, you guys have a special place in my heart. It really does keep me motivated. I don't know, I do try to talk to you a one-on-one, but maybe someday I'll have enough questions and so on to do like a regular Monday Q&A session like I used to. But for now, I just try and spread the information and love I have for all you cosplayers out there. I don't know if you know someone who needs help, if you see someone who could use a heads up and maybe is new to the cosplay community, maybe hasn't seen some of these kind of informational videos, let them know. It really helps me out. I'm gonna go make more vids, have some fun, make some stuff, do cosplay things. Thanks for watching, guys. Good times to all.